Hi everyone. I was talking to some beginners about writing words, and I don't know if you're familiar with my workbook, the Making Connections workbooks. There are workbooks for large brush tip pens and small brush tip pens. So after you finish learning how to write the letters of the alphabet and do all the strokes and basic strokes, you can move on to these workbooks. But if you don't have this workbook, I thought I'd show you a way that you can improve your word writing skills. It's all about spacing and thinking about those basic strokes over and over and over again, like I showed you in my last video. So if we look at the workbook layout, you see that there's tracing paper inside. You see that the first row of all of these words has a breakdown of the word itself. So it breaks it down into separate strokes and letters for every single word or phrase in the book. So that is really helpful, and I started to think that when people are practicing without the workbook, they should actually do the same thing. So I'm just going to grab my grid practice pad, my KellyCreates grid practice pad, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So it's similar to my last video where I was writing, showing you how to spell and think of the basic strokes of spelling. I'm going to do something a little bit the same, but also a little bit different. So let's say I'm writing the word mini, and I have my M, I, N, I. Okay. And remember in the last video, in my other video, I also showed you how to change colors and write words. Now, what I want you to do is write out the word, and then right underneath, I want you to break down this entire word and write the same exact word with the same exact strokes, but this time you are going to write them separately. So there is my overturn, I know I went high there, my compound curve, reverse compound curve, compound curve, and underturn. So if I magically could push all of these strokes together, I should have my word mini, just like that. So I really recommend that you try this technique to write any word. Now, not every word will break down like this. So let's take a look at look at the word family. So I'm going to write the word family, and actually I am going to mark my lines, because honestly I have a hard time seeing. I always write my guidelines, even though I'm using grid paper, I always do that. So this is my ascender line, this is my waistline, my baseline, and my descender line. Okay, so with the word family, I am going to just move this paper over, and here's my F. Here is my A, and my M, and my L, and my Y. Right? Okay, now let's do the breakdown for this. So you might notice that, okay, well, how do you break down the F? Well, we don't really break down the F. We can just do the F as is, as an entire letter or stroke. And now the A is next. We don't want them touching. And the reverse compound curve. What's next? The overturn. And you can do the entire overturn or just part of the overturn. Like I sometimes start here. And let's do the compound curve. And see how I'm checking them off to keep track? Underturn. And the L, I'm going to write it as a whole, but it actually is an ascender loop and an underturn. But we'll write that as one together. and then we have an underturn, and we have a descender loop. So there is the word family. And if I do this, practice all my words like this, I will see a big improvement and change in my technique, in my spacing, my structure. I think this is really going to make a difference in your practicing. So the other thing I wanted to mention is, do you see how I sometimes shorten the strokes? So for example, let's look at the letter M. And I'm showing this because some beginners get confused. So here's my letter M. And in my workbook, my letter M looks like this. So overturn, overturn, compound curve. But when we practice our basic strokes, they don't look like this. They are actually entire basic strokes. And so they start on the waistline or baseline and they finish like that as well. So I want to encourage you, if you find that you're struggling with the shape and consistency of your individual letters like this, then go back to your basic strokes and draw the entire one. What does that look like? The entire stroke. So I'll just make it a little bit smaller. Overturn, overturn, compound curve. Okay, I didn't shorten it like I usually do. I kept the entire stroke, 1, 2, 3 strokes, and I wrote the whole letter, and that will make me really focus on the structure and the form. So give these techniques a try and have fun with your brush lettering practice. Thanks for watching.